Ancient Egypt was a civilization that lasted for over 3,000 years, from the pre-dynastic period around 3100 BCE to the end of the Pharaonic era in 332 BCE. It was one of the longest-lasting and most powerful civilizations in the history of the world. The civilization was located in the northeastern region of Africa, along the lower reaches of the Nile River. The Nile provided the ancient Egyptians with a reliable source of water for irrigation and transportation, and it also served as a natural boundary that protected them from invasions. During this long period, the civilization went through various phases of development and decline, but it always maintained its unique identity and culture. The ancient Egyptians developed a complex society with a hierarchy of pharaohs, nobles, and commoners. The pharaohs were considered to be divine rulers who were responsible for the welfare of the people and the maintenance of order. They were also believed to be the intermediaries between the gods and the people. Ancient Egypt was located in the northeastern region of Africa, along the lower reaches of the Nile River. The Nile River is one of the longest rivers in the world, stretching over 4,000 miles from its source in Burundi to the Mediterranean Sea. The river provided the ancient Egyptians with a reliable source of water for irrigation and transportation, and it also served as a natural boundary that protected them from invasions. The Nile River was considered to be the lifeblood of ancient Egypt. It flooded annually, leaving behind a rich sediment that nourished the land and made it fertile for agriculture. The ancient Egyptians developed a sophisticated system of irrigation that allowed them to cultivate crops such as wheat and barley, as well as fruits and vegetables. This allowed them to sustain a large population and build a complex society. Ancient Egyptians developed a complex society with a hierarchy of pharaohs, nobles, and commoners. The pharaohs were considered to be the supreme rulers of ancient Egypt, and they held a great deal of power and prestige. They were believed to be divine, and were responsible for the welfare of the people and the maintenance of order. They were also the intermediary between the gods and the people. They were the ones who had the power to communicate with the gods, and who were believed to have the power to ensure the fertility of the land, the flooding of the Nile, and the well-being of the people. The pharaohs were supported by a group of nobles and officials, who held high positions in the government and administration. These nobles were responsible for managing the day-to-day affairs of the state, and they held a great deal of power and influence. They were often members of the pharaoh's family, and they were also responsible for overseeing the various temples and the administration of justice. Ancient Egyptians were known for their monumental architecture, such as the pyramids and the Sphinx, as well as a system of hieroglyphics for writing. The pyramids were some of the most impressive and recognizable symbols were built during the Old Kingdom period and were used as tombs for the pharaohs and their consorts. The most famous pyramids are the Great Pyramids of Giza, which were built for the pharaohs Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure. These pyramids are considered to be architectural marvels, and they are still standing today as a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The Sphinx, which is a statue of a lion with a human head, is another well-known symbol of ancient Egypt. The gods and goddesses played a major role in the ancient Egyptian religion, and they were believed to control the forces of nature and govern human fate. The ancient Egyptians believed that the gods and goddesses were present in all aspects of life, and they built temples and performed rituals to honor and appease them. The pharaohs were also considered to be divine and were believed to be the intermediary between the gods and the people. They were responsible for maintaining the balance of the universe and ensuring the well-being of the people. The pharaohs were also believed to have the power to ensure the fertility of the land, the flooding of the Nile, and the well-being of the people. The Old Kingdom of Egypt, which lasted from around 2686 to 2181 BCE, was a period of great architectural achievements, including the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Old Kingdom is considered to be the golden age of ancient Egyptian civilization. It was a time of great prosperity and stability, and it saw the emergence of a centralized government and a strong royal court. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom were able to exert control over the entire country, and they were able to use their power and resources to build monumental structures such as the pyramids. The New Kingdom of Egypt, which lasted from around 1550 to 1069 BCE, was a period of strong centralized government and military expansion. The New Kingdom was a time of resurgence and expansion for ancient Egypt, following a period of decline during the Second Intermediate Period. The pharaohs of the New Kingdom were able to re-establish central control over the country and expand the empire through military campaigns. They also actively engaged in diplomatic and commercial relations with other countries and civilizations. Third Intermediate Period and Late Period of Egypt, and was eventually conquered by Alexander the Great in 332 BCE. The Third Intermediate Period and Late Period of Egypt were a time of political instability, economic decline, and foreign invasions. The central government weakened, and the country was divided into several smaller states, each ruled by its own ruler. This period saw the rise of powerful local dynasties, many of which were of non-Egyptian origin. During this time, Egypt also faced invasions from foreign powers, such as the Assyrians and the Persians. These invasions resulted in the loss of territories and the weakening of the economy. The country also faced internal conflicts, such as civil war and rebellion, which further contributed to the decline. In mathematics, the ancient Egyptians developed a sophisticated system of mathematics that included the use of fractions, geometry, and the concept of the number zero. They used their mathematical knowledge in the construction of their monumental structures, such as the pyramids, and also in other practical applications such as land measurement and taxation. In medicine, the ancient Egyptians made notable contributions in areas such as surgical techniques, pharmacology, and the use of herbs. They also had a deep understanding of the human body and its anatomy, and they developed a system of diagnosis and treatment. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, which is one of the oldest medical texts in the world, contains detailed information about surgical techniques and the treatment of injuries and diseases. Egypt has a long and rich history, and continues to be a major source of fascination for historians and archaeologists today. The history of Egypt is truly fascinating, and it continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. From the ancient pyramids and temples to the hieroglyphs and mummies, the artifacts and remains of the ancient Egyptian civilization offer a glimpse into a world that existed thousands of years ago. The study of ancient Egypt is a multidisciplinary field, and it encompasses many different subjects such as archaeology, history, art, religion, and language. Today, there are many ongoing excavations and research projects that are helping to uncover new information about the civilization and its way of life. In addition to the historical and archaeological significance, Egypt also has a rich cultural heritage. Many of the traditions, customs, and beliefs of ancient Egypt have been passed down through generations and continue to be a part of modern-day Egypt. This makes the country an important destination for tourists and scholars alike.